Have you ever wondered why some people gain weight the minute that they look at a piece of chocolate cake, whilst others seem to be able to eat anything they like and never gain an inch? Or why some people can remember things that you told them a decade ago, whilst others struggle to remember what they read yesterday? Me included. Well, I've discovered that one of the biggest influences on our lives is our genetic programming. Our genetic programming is different than our genetics. Our genetics is the code that we get from our parents. Genetic programming is how that code is programmed. Now, our nutrition during the first 1,000 days of life is one of the most important factors for programming our baby's genes. And this starts with the genes in our eggs and sperm before our baby is even conceived. So what is the first 1,000 days? What nutrition is important? And what difference can it really make? Well, stay tuned and I'll explain. Hi, my name is Melanie McGrice and I'm a fertility and prenatal dietitian. I help couples boost their fertility and give their babies the best possible start with the power of good food. Now, if this is our first time connecting, make sure that you subscribe and also follow me on my socials. You'll find the links in the description below this video. So before we get into answering your question, I want to tell you that I'm particularly excited about this video. You see, the research I've read about the impact of nutrition in the first 1,000 days is one of the key reasons that I decided to specialise in this area of dietetics. One of my earlier jobs as a dietitian was working in a hospital clinic to assist people with weight problems. My average client in the clinic was 200 kilograms, or 440 pounds for my American viewers. I was often baffled that clients could gain weight even though some of them would eat less calories than I did. As I delved into the research, I found that people with weight problems often had different hormonal profiles than skinny people had. The more I researched, the more passionate I became. I found a landmark study which was conducted in 2008 on mice, which found that the diet that pregnant mice were given impacted the genetic programming of their pups to determine whether their pups would struggle with obesity or not. To think that what we eat in the lead up to conception, during pregnancy, and what we feed our little ones in their first years can impact their genetic programming to determine whether or not they'll struggle with their weight is amazing. And it's not just weight. More recent research shows that the nutrition that your baby receives during their first 1,000 days will influence your baby's brain development, their immune system, their risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes, their food preferences, their risk of food allergies, and much, much more. So what is this first 1,000 days? Well, it's the time from preconception until your baby turns 2, when the majority of genetic programming occurs. Now, academics are still debating about when the first 1,000 days starts and whether it's the day of conception or earlier. But personally, I like to think that it's about 3 months prior to conception. We need to remember that our eggs and sperm contain the genetic material for our future baby. And we know that sperm and egg health can be significantly impacted in the 3 months prior to conception. So that's why I chose this date. So let me give you 2 quick examples of nutrition for the first 1,000 days and the impact that it can make. Number 1, food preferences. Now, there's lots of studies which show that what mamas eat during pregnancy and breastfeeding will impact the taste preferences of our baby. But one of my favourite studies was an experiment undertaken in 2001. The researchers asked the mamas to drink a glass of carrot juice at least 4 days a week during pregnancy and breastfeeding. And the other mamas, they asked to drink a glass of water. Now, when solids were introduced to their babies, they were offered carrot-flavoured porridge. And essentially, the baby whose mamas had consumed the carrot juice during pregnancy and breastfeeding liked the carrot-flavoured porridge, but those whose mothers drank the water didn't. Now, our baby's taste buds are developed at around 5 months gestation. So what you eat during pregnancy and breastfeeding will influence the foods that your baby will like in the future. Example number 2, allergies. Research tells us that if you or your partner has a food allergy, your baby has around a 30% risk of having a food allergy as well. And if you both have food allergies, the risk increases to around 60%. That's because the risk of food allergies is genetic. But genetic programming also has a role. Check out my video on allergy prevention during pregnancy. But in brief, nutrition in the first 1,000 days has a significant impact on genetic programming and can influence whether or not your baby will have a food allergy or not. So, what should you do to optimize your baby's nutrition for the first 1,000 days? Well, start with these steps. Number 1, get a blood test to check your nutritional status before conceiving. Number 2, get any existing health conditions such as diabetes or celiac disease under control. Number 3, optimize your weight. Number 4, enhance your gut microbiota with prebiotic foods. Number 5, breastfeed as long as you're able to. And number 6, and most importantly, have a personalised consultation with a dietitian as soon as you decide that you're going to start trying to conceive, or as soon as you know that you're pregnant if it wasn't planned. Now, nutrition for the first 1,000 days is so important. It's a tough time to eat well though. Between managing your emotions when you're trying to conceive, dealing with the pressure of friends and family, dealing with morning sickness, exhaustion and reflux when you're pregnant, not to mention the sleepless nights when you have a newborn. But get the help that you need and just do the best that you can. As someone who has personally seen the differences that nutrition for the first 1,000 days can make, I can assure you that the effort that you put in now will reap rewards for you and your little one down the track. Now, one last thing before you go, and that is that I'd recommend downloading my free fertility meal plan to help get you started. Just go to www.melaniemcgrice.com/fertility and check out some of my other videos such as how to eat well when you've got no time and healthy breakfast ideas for pregnant women. And make sure that you connect with me on my socials. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Okay, sorry. Sorry.